Welcome back to Two Down Territory. We're a third of the way into the NFL season. We've been wrong about pretty much everything. Adam a little bit more wrong than me. And so we're going to go through our awards that we predicted at the beginning of the season. And now with 6 weeks of information, tell you who's actually going to win these awards.
Yeah, and I think that the best way to just look at exactly how wrong we were, specifically Jonathan, is to look at the awards and kind of understand who are the players that we thought were going to have these incredible seasons and who are the players that are actually having the incredible seasons. What award do we want to start with first?
Why don't we start with the award that I think most people don't know exists, the newly minted
Yeah.
Protector of the Year award.
Yeah. I love this because we're starting off on a note where I think I'm right. I predicted Garrett Bowles to be the protector of the year, and I still think he's the protector of the year. When you look at the metrics, he's been the best tackle in football. And even though Bo Nix has played terribly, which is more of really an indictment on Bo Nix, I think Garrett Bowles still deserves this award.
I had going into the season Joe Alt, and I would say of when he's actually played, I've been correct. If he comes back this week and still plays well, he probably didn't miss enough games to where it would exclude him from the award. You're not wrong about Bowles. I will say that if I had to lean on someone just purely by how dominant he's been throughout his career, Penei Sewell is very likely to get a nod in this award.
Yeah, I think that it depends on a couple things. The first thing that's really difficult with this award is, and we talked about this when we initially picked our picks, what are the voters going to look at?
Yep.
I'm kind of coming to the point where I think that a lot of this is just going to be based on stats, like who allowed the least amount of pressures. Right now, that's Garrett Bowles. I don't see a reason why that would change. That being said, I actually think that Joe Alt has an opportunity to run away with this award depending on how he plays and the Chargers as a whole play when he comes back. In the last 2 weeks, has it been 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks since he's gone, right? Well, because it's 2 weeks and then he was out for like over half the game.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
When he left, the Chargers have looked. They went from looking like contenders in the AFC to a team that's now about to lose the AFC West to the Chiefs. And so if Joe Alt comes back and they continue to dominate like they did early in the season, that's going to be a big narrative push in Joe Alt's favor.
So there's a lot of reasons for me to stick with my pick as well. And so, yeah, it's Penei Sewell due to name recognition, and he's just a beast. But I don't feel too bad about my Joe Alt pick.
You shouldn't. He's been incredible. Control Alt Delete, as they say,
as the kids say these days.
As the kids say.
We can move up to
next?
Another pick that we all know it's going to be the case. We weren't actually wrong about this. Defensive Rookie of the Year. It's Abdul Carter.
I picked Malachi Stark, so I might have been wrong.
Oh, you picked Malachi?
I was trying to be a little cheeky.
Oh, that's right.
I was just trying to have some fun with it. And I was so confident in the Ravens defense going into the year. I thought this is going to be a guy who's going to lead, who's going to be a crucial part and at least have a starting role in the best secondary in the league. Turns out that secondary, and obviously I know they've been injured, but even before then has been Swiss cheese to opposing offense. And so I'm going with Abdul Carter now.
If you want to know the odds, as of right now, these are the live odds. Abdul Carter is plus 180 to win this award. Malachi Stark's plus 4,000.
All right. You win some, you lose some. Let's just move on. No, to give some credit to Abdul Carter, he has played incredibly.
Yes, he of course has, as you should have known.
Yeah, he's been incredible.
Now we'll get to Offensive Rookie of the Year. My pick was, again, with the Rookies of the Years, you keep it basic. I went Ashton Jeanty, but my pick now, both based on his play and even though he's injured currently, won't keep him out really that much, but also the play of the team as a whole, Emeka Egbuka.
I'm right there with you. I picked Ashton Genty, but Emeka Ibuka is the player that I think is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think there's a few factors and few reasons here. One, he's been incredible, right? He's had 27 receptions for 469 yards. He's averaging 17.4 yards per catch, and he scored 5 touchdowns. And those are not just any touchdowns. Those are some game-sealing, impactful touchdowns at that, which definitely
he's on a Pro Bowl pace right now. And if you were a Pro Bowler as a wide receiver, when you're on a crowded roster with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, it's hard to see someone else having a performance that outplays him for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. And, we can't just look away at Ashton Genty. He has had some incredible. It's funny how it correlates directly with him, like, changing his stance back to, the Michael Myers-esque stance that he had in college.
We don't need to fully go down this rabbit hole. I'm not a fan of that. Not like, I don't like it in terms of like, it's cool, stuff like that. The fact that, I don't know, that seems like one of those sneaky little signals of like, that's just whispering to me, like,
dude, get out of here. Jahmyr Gibbs does something very similar.
I know, but I just don't, I don't disagree. It's weird. I wasn't, even though I picked him for this award, it's just because I literally wasn't feeling confident enough to take a stab at anything else. There's a world in which Ashton Genty isn't even like a top 2 running back from this draft.
No, here's what I'll say. Ashton Genty, just like all of the data points otherwise. So the last 2 weeks, he's been incredible. All of the,
I hate you and your facts.
The weeks, all of the weeks leading up to his breakouts where he's, being incredible, he has led the league in yards after contact, and his offensive line has given him the least amount of yards before contact in the NFL. And so you have this situation where it's like, one could say, oh, look, Ashton Genty's a bust. And then, but the smart person would add literally the simplest first step of context and say, oh, wait a minute, it's clearly an offensive line problem. Here's why. Because those are the 2 greatest stats you could use to indicate whether or not a run game issue is the offensive line's fault or the running back's fault. When you, as a running back, are getting hit in the backfield quicker than any other running back, and yet you have the most yards after contacts in the NFL, that is a surefire sign that the offensive line has been done terribly. The reason why I don't think that Ashton Genty is going to win Offensive Player of the Year or Rookie of the Year is because of the storyline and because that offensive line has been bad. But Ashton Genty is still incredible. And if you're saying he's a bust, it's one of those things where if you say he's a bust and you end up right, it's not because you're some genius, it's because you got lucky. I feel the same way about what happened with Bo Nix, saying, oh, Bo Nix is going to play terribly, when it's like, there's no reason to believe it, but you were right, so whatever.
Okay, no, you don't get to make that claim. I've been anti-Bo Nix from the beginning with very valid reasonings, but again, it's always dumb because I say something that's clearly right, and then you have to pretend that all of the facts are against me, which they are, but...
Dude, it pisses me off. No, there is no reason to think that after a competent quarterback play from 2024, that in 2025, when the situation gets better, that it would create incompetent quarterback play.
It's
because giving you your flowers. You were right, but let's just say you were right because something in your gut told you something that was beyond reason.
My gut told me that I have been watching Broncos football since I was in the womb. And I don't even know how it worked, but I was. AFC West football is in my blood, and I can sniff it when one of those non-chief AFC West teams is up to something funky. I just knew it.
Speaking of which, for Coach of the Year, I picked Sean Payton, which was clearly a bad pick.
I picked Mike Vrabel, which after these last couple of weeks is still very much alive.
Looking better.
But this isn't To be clear, the awards as they are right now, we are saying the awards predictions for the end of the year
Yes.
based on what we know. But Shane Steichen has given himself
That's my new pick.
a
Oh yeah,
hefty head start. I'm still
he sure
cautious,
has.
but Steichen in the odds has taken a firm lead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, yeah, there's nothing to say. The coach of the year is the person who is the coach that took a team that no one believed in and found success.
Yep.
That is how you describe Shane Steichen and the Colts. That's why Kevin O'Connell won the year before. That's why Shane Steichen is most likely going to win this year.
Yeah. Offensive player of the year is definitely my toughest one.
Yeah.
I had CeeDee Lamb winning. And then I
I had
also, for these top picks, I picked a sneaky backup. My sneaky backup was Marvin Harrison Jr. So I'm 0 for 2. This one's rough.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, my old pick was Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Remember, I went on that whole rant about how I was like, "This is the year for tight ends. Tight ends are
And you got me
finally going to
fired
get their
up. You were like,
justice."
yeah. I was like, oh,
I'm
man.
feeling it, dude. Nah.
No.
Apparently Geno Smith forgot how to play quarterback, and Brock Bowers got hurt. But
So as of right now, the sneaky or the easy pick as of where we're right now would be Jonathan Taylor. I'm gonna go
that's
with,
who I picked.
which is fair, and
I took the easy route.
which is probably the correct route, but this is still a level of projection. Man, Bijan Robinson is something else. If the
Yeah, he
Falcons,
sure is.
which with this win against Buffalo last night are very much alive for, can just have a winning record, just 9-8. They can miss the playoffs, 9-8, and Bijan Robinson maintains this pace, or even goes down just a little bit in pace.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Uh, man, I don't know how you don't give it to a guy like that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The biggest thing for me with Jonathan Taylor is that I think his play is a little bit more sustainable because of how incredible that offensive line is. And then also just the overall offensive production that we're seeing and the scheme of Shane Steichen. I think that
And also
Shane
just the
Steichen winning coach
practical
of the
thing
year
of they've
and Jonathan
lost only
Taylor.
one game.
Exactly. I think that both of those things make sense in terms of a narrative that I'm pushing here.
Yep. No, I mean, it's the easy route for a reason from where we're sitting right now. But I'm not trying to be some football hipster by saying Bijan Robinson. He's having an incredible season.
He is. He's incredible. He really is.
My defensive player of the year is odd because I couldn't decide between these two guys, so I threw them both out. One of them was Aiden Hutchinson, and then I had Max Crosby. It's a mixed bag between those two. Because I was feeling, when I was doing these awards predictions, even though overall in my playoff predictions and season predictions, I didn't have the Raiders doing that well, I was feeling this weird energy of like, oh man, unfortunately, because I hate them as a Chiefs fan, the Raiders might be sneaky good and Max Crosby has a chance to have the best season of his career. Not the case. Aiden Hutchinson, not nearly on the pace he was to start last season, but he's still a dog.
Still playing incredible.
And if the Lions win the North again and he's healthy and he has just a very good season neck and neck with some of the other guys, I could see the narrative going this way. So if you put a gun in my head, I probably still would say Aiden Hutchinson. But that being said, it's a wide open race.
Yeah. So do you have any other names or are you just going with Aiden Hutchinson?
With where the Steelers are at right now, it's hard to not say TJ Watt. I also have to give Micah Parsons some love, mainly because of the narrative behind there, but I don't think he'll have the statistical impact. If it's between Aiden Hutchinson and TJ Watt for me.
Yeah, I'm going with Aiden Hutchinson too. I picked him to be the defensive player of the year before the season, and I think he still will be. He has 14 total tackles, 6 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. I also think that because of the injuries in the secondary, it's going to force him to have to play big and come up big. And if it just seems more sustainable than other options, because realistically, the other options in terms of like who the players that have played like a defensive player of the year up until now, a name we have to throw out there is Devin Lloyd, right? Like he's just played incredible in this short season.
Also, Nick Bonito.
His play
Sorry, we have to
and
throw
Nick
out
Bonito.
Nick Bonito.
Absolutely. I just feel like their play is less sustainable. Like I think that Nick Bonito is going to be competing with his own teammates in terms of, the raw stats that you need in order to win. Devin Lloyd is on a pace where it's like it's probably not like an historic pace where it seems a little bit unsustainable.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going with Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, if Aiden Hutchinson gets 15 plus sacks and the Lions win the North again, it's hard to see a world in which he doesn't win the award.
Absolutely.
And that leaves us at the most prestigious award by default in the NFL, MVP, a prediction where I, of course, had my winner and my sneaky backup, and I feel quite good about both of these. Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield.
Screw you, man. I don't know how you did it.
And
mine was Joe Burrow.
Good old Glass Joe. I'm sorry, man.
Shut up. Screw you, man.
I'm sorry. I apologize. But if you ask me right now, the MVP race is between these two guys, and I get it. Oh,
it sure is.
Like, as a side rant, I know you shouldn't care about Instagram comments and social media comments, but
sometimes they get to you.
But sometimes they do get to you because ESPN posts like a random post, but it's not even like atopical. It's a meaningful post where they're like, after this last week, the most recent MVP odds, Mahomes is, I think, co-favorites with Josh Allen. And in some places, Mahomes is the winner or the leading. And people all in the comments are like, but they're 3-3. And it's like, hey, dummies, it's a projection. It's not saying that he's the MVP right now. It's saying that the Chiefs look like they're on a pace to have a winning record, make the playoffs. And on top of that, Patrick Mahomes leads the NFL in total yards and touchdowns. And then on the flip side of that, Baker Mayfield is single-handedly carrying his team to a winning record and is near the top in total yards and total touchdowns. If I'm going to let my bias seep in and go Mahomes, but it's actually, it is both because of mainly because of the record and the narrative as a part of that, where Baker Mayfield, if he does go, like Mahomes could have a statistically better season, but if the Bucs are a top 2 seed in the NFC and Baker has somewhere between like 35 to 40 touchdowns and like single digit turnovers or single digit interceptions, he probably does get the award.
Yeah. I'm with you. And so like I actually thought I'd have to, because I am picking Baker Mayfield. I was going back and forth between him and Mahomes. I assumed that I'd have to argue more for him. Like I didn't realize you'd give him so much credit. Considering he's going against your GOAT and your king. You are, but it's going against Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I still did pick Mahomes.
I know, but like, I guess I expected you to pick Mahomes, but I expected me to have to fight more to give Baker his credit. So, but here's the case for Baker Mayfield. He has a 5-1 record. He has 129 completions of 195 pass attempts, which is 66.2%, over 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception, a passer rating of 108.5. He has 158 rushing yards on 22 carries. He leads the NFL in total EPA. And really, it's about the storyline and the total impact. The other thing, too, is that he could win the NFC given the Eagles and Lions' most recent loss. And the reason why I think he'll beat out Mahomes is because he's going to have a season where it's just more impactful and more fun. I equate this MVP, the vision that I'm painting here, is an MVP similar to what Allen did last year against Lamar Jackson, where you had two guys. One guy clearly had the better statistical season, but the other guy clearly had a larger impact overall on the team towards winning. And that's kind of where I'm seeing with Baker Mayfield. I could see a world, especially with Rashee Rice coming back, where Patrick Mahomes the rest of the season has an efficient 300-yard, 3 touchdown game and has just these incredible numbers. And yet, Baker Mayfield is going to win because of the storyline and the impactful way that he's winning these games. He has been the most clutch quarterback in the NFL this year, especially early on in the season where they won the first 4 games by simply by walk-off touchdowns and or field goals. The other thing that I'll say too is how he's playing without his top guys, right? Bucky Irving is out. Mike Evans is out. Chris Godwin is out. Tristan Wirfs wasn't there to start the season. And I know that Patrick Mahomes also is missing those guys. The difference is without those guys, Baker Mayfield has a 5-1 record while the Chiefs have a 3-3 record. And so I think that storyline is going to elevate Baker Mayfield.
I do like how you prepared this rant to come off really aggressive, even though I kind of agreed with you.
Even though it's like,
I'm sorry,
oh, man.
But I was
ready for this.
I do have some legitimate pushback, not because I don't necessarily disagree, because the MVP ultimately is a narrative award. And to be clear, there's a world in which unfortunately for whoever the best running back is in the league with like a winning record, there's a world in which both of these guys are so close in terms of record and narrative that whoever doesn't win MVP gets the Offensive Player of the Year award as consolation, which has happened before.
True.
Not as of recent years, but there's precedent for it. The one pushback that I'll have is I would be much closer to picking Mayfield, and I'm being honest, if it hadn't been, including this season, 3 years since Mahomes had won it. So I don't feel like Mahomes isn't going to get punished for the recency bias of like, you just won it recently, give it to the other guy.
That's why I know I didn't bring it up.
And I know you didn't bring that up, but my point is that like, if as long as both of these teams win their division, that's a much bigger ask right now, just mathematically for the Chiefs than it is. Although the Falcons have fought more than potentially expected, the Bucs do have the tiebreaker. If both of these teams win their division, but Mahomes has like 500 more passing yards and 5 more touchdowns, it's going to be a tough sell. And we've seen the precedent for it last season with Josh Allen having much worse stats than Lamar. My pushback to that is that was kind of like a pent-up energy of like, no offense to Josh Allen, although he can take it, and he sucks and is terrible, blah, blah, blah. The voters were kind of like, well, we kind of have to give him one at some point.
Yeah.
Baker's not going to get that energy, which is unfair to Baker. But Baker's not going to get that energy of like, he's been like one of the best quarterbacks in the league for his entire career, and we've never given it to him. Like, Baker's not going to get that push from the voters, which is unfair to him, but I'm just being practical.
I'm with you. I think that, once again, my biggest thing here is that last year, at the very least, in my mind, a precedent was set that it's possible for a player to win simply based on impact to overall team performance for the entirety of the season over impact of individual box score play. And so what I mean by that is to say that I think that there is this world where the voters look at Baker Mayfield's season and say, it's not, it's not, Mahomes had better numbers.
So
he had better
here's
touchdowns,
to say, do you think it could be
yards.
identical to last year where Mahomes gets the #1 All-Pro quarterback, but Baker gets the MVP?
I could actually see that. Yeah, I could see that happening. It's more about just like, I think that there's this world where it's like, The other thing too is that I don't want, like, as of now, to predict a player to have the type of season that I think Mahomes will have to really, outpace these guys, like, or Baker Mayfield, is a big ask. It's not as big of an ask because he's done it before, but it really just comes down to, like, I think that Baker Mayfield, if he keeps up this pace, right, that we've seen, like, again, there's just going to be such a push to say, like, look at all the guys that he was missing, and he was 5-1. Like, I think that the beginning of the season, when we look at the MVP awards, is going to matter more than it has in the past.
If he gets the 1 seed in the NFC, it's his.
I think that's what I'm saying.
And
I'm
that's
basically saying that, like, he's in a lot easier division than the Eagles and the Lions. I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's a world that exists. The point is that Baker Mayfield, I think, will have enough stats, more wins, and a bigger narrative that he can beat out, the difference in, passing yards and touchdowns between him and Mahomes.
So we're just ruling out Drake May for MVP?
I guess so, dude. Dang it.
Well, that's our updated awards predictions.
But real quick, let's just do a thought experiment.
Okay.
What would have to happen for Dak Prescott to win?
I mean, they would have. I don't think there's anything he could do. I really don't.
Because, like,
if Joe Burrow couldn't win it last year, and to be clear, I don't think Joe Burrow should have won it last year. But if Joe Burrow didn't win it last year, how else?
The difference is that Joe Burrow was playing for a team that doesn't seem like that didn't make the playoffs. I feel like a lot of people were basically of the mindset like Joe Burrow wins if they make the playoffs.
I wasn't actually on that train, but fair enough.
By a lot of people, I'm talking about the voters. Because what?
No, that just came up on that was just kind of like, basically the people who actually decide the award say that you're stupid, Jonathan. Okay. I disagree with the voters. I actually disagree. I disagree with most voters on most things in most aspects of life.
But what I'm saying is like true. But basically what I'm saying is that, like, let's say hypothetically Dak Prescott drags this team to a playoff spot.
I mean, yeah. He would be on.
What if he won the division?
Okay, well then if he wins the division and it's this same style of play that he's doing now and the defense improves just a tick and they're averaging 31 points a game to be able to win, then yeah, he's in it. I don't see that as a world,
okay.
But hypothetically...
So maybe this isn't a productive...
No. Well, but I guess you have been... You presented the world in which he could win. I'm just saying, like...
Yeah.
Well, what if anything? Let me quote.
Hell freezes over.
To quote our current president, he was getting. Do you know the clip I'm about to reference? He's getting questioned.
I don't think so.
It's about some geopolitical issue, and the reporter goes like, "What if something?" And it's like a pretty ridiculous scenario. And Trump goes, "Well, what if anything? What if a bomb dropped on our heads right now?" That's how I feel about that question. What if Dak Prescott won the MVP? What if anything, Adam? I'm pro Dak Prescott, but I cannot imagine that world.
All right, fine. All right. I was just trying to have some fun, but
Drake May for MVP is more live than Dak Prescott, sadly.
No, it's not. You're so stupid. No, it's not. Get out of here.
If the Patriots win the AFC East, Drake May will probably be on the ballot. And guess what? The Patriots are actually leading the AFC East right now as compared to the Cowboys.
Okay. All right. Fine. I digress. I take it all back. But yeah, so that's the awards. That's the award standing right now. I think that the one thing that this shows is just how crazy this NFL season has been. And maybe it's because this is the first year that I'm doing something like this where I'm like really critically thinking about my takes. And it just turns out that I'm not as smart as I thought. And this is how every NFL season is. Or maybe there's something about this season. There's something in the water, man.
There is something in the water this season. I mean, you also should never pick Joe Burrow because you're a Bengals fan, and that's only ever going to let you down, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And on
Maybe next year.
and on-
Because
and that's your life mantra, pal. You said that so earnestly too. You were like, "Well, I mean, maybe next year."
I really meant it. Why are you laughing at me?
Oh,
Oh my gosh. With that, guys, thanks for watching.
Peace.
Like and subscribe. Just for me.
just for Adam. Do it for Adam, guys. You
Just
see
for
what
my
he's
sake.
like right now.
All right, guys. Just see you in the next one.